here's what's happening, and this is why this movement, and it is a movement, it's a national movement, has taken off so quickly, and I think, frankly, caught many politicians on both sides of the aisle by surprise. What's happening is that parents are looking at what's coming home in their children's backpacks, and they're appalled. And they're doing research, and they're finding out that the Common Core locks children into an inferior, low-quality education. To put it briefly, in math, Common Core ends in grade 11 with half an Algebra 2 course. Even the chief architect of the Common Core math standards, Jason Zimba, said Common Core is not for STEM. Common Core is not for admission to a competitive 4-year private or public university if you want to study the humanities. So in brief, what happens is starting in the early grades, Common Core, before it teaches the standard way to solve a problem in math, it mandates the teaching of fuzzy math or strategies for approaching problems. Well, what are these strategies? There are things like counting on your fingers, drawing pictures, working with head nods to solve problems. And then Common Core teaches the standard way of solving a problem called the standard algorithm. So what happens is the progression, the needed progression, gets slowed down. So that by 8th grade, as Professor James Milgram, one of the foremost mathematicians in the world and a standards expert, as Professor Milgram of Stanford said, by 8th grade, a student on Common Core is about 1 or 2 years behind their peers in high-performing countries, or their peers in states that have good standards. So that's the problem. And then Common Core, as Milgram said, gets even worse in high school. It throws out Euclidean geometry, axiomatic Euclidean geometry, in favor of a method of teaching geometry that has failed everywhere in the world. It's been implemented K-12. That's now our national system of teaching geometry. And then it goes on to Algebra 2, but it only teaches half of an Algebra 2 course. It throws out most of trigonometry. So what you're left with is a child who does not even have a pathway to pre-calculus or calculus by 12th grade.
So, Emmett, I would think that, excuse me, even if we could come to this perfect curriculum that everyone in this room agreed on, what's left for parents? I mean, what if you had a child who's really strong in the sciences and you have another child who's really strong in the arts? Do you have any say over their curriculum under this?
Well, this is the second part of what is driving this movement. Parents were upset with this process that Neil described, and they started peeling back the layers of the onion, and they realized that neither they nor their elected legislators had any say in what was being billed as a transformation of education for every child in America. And they're upset about that, and they're going to war, and I use that in the figurative sense. They're going to war against anything that interferes with their right to have a say in what their children learn. And that includes Republicans in Congress. It includes Democrats in Congress. It includes the current attempt to reauthorize No Child Left Behind. This is a very, very strong movement. It's a very passionate movement, and it's one that is growing by the day.